Hello, this is the 84th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2222, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. Today we are in a bit of a hurry.
A little bit, yep. You mentioned you have something?
Yeah. I have I put reservation on the bench in Athens. There's a really nice view of the sunset.
And when will that be?
Half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 35 minutes. It's when the sun is setting. I want to be there a few minutes before.
Yeah, get there in advance so that you can actually enjoy it.
Exactly, and then it's a very popular bench, especially because you can see the downtown Athens. Exactly, and then the sun is setting right behind the temples.
Yeah,
and it's a super popular spot, and it's not easy to get a reservation. And if I don't show up on time, they give it to people that randomly teleport there.
Waiting in hopes that they'll get it.
Yeah, so they even keep like a circle of like 50 meters free around the bench, because otherwise you're basically surrounded by people. That's not so fun. But they managed to keep the people away from the bench. Let's say 5 minutes before sunset. If you don't get there, they just give the bench away to whoever got there first.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we'll keep it tight today.
Yeah, exactly. We will keep it tight. It's a good thing because sometimes we tend to get a little bit off topic.
Occasionally, or go into great detail where maybe not so much detail is required.
True. And the topic of today is you want.
Yeah. Let's. Today's topic for the 84th test is conspiracy theories. There are many, and apparently these things. Well, so we know conspiracy theories have been around for centuries. So what are we telling the people in the past about? Well, we're telling ones that are current. Not ones they would have known about back then, but ones which are up to date for us.
And we're assuming, because they've been around for centuries, we're assuming you, the listener, know.
You mean what a conspiracy theory is? Yeah, we don't need to define it.
Otherwise, they can look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And then we did a bit of research, and then we thought it would be fun to basically pick ones from the list of.
Exactly. I mean, some of these I knew about already, but other ones are a bit new to me, basically. And got to read up about them and let's talk about them. Yeah, let's just dive in.
Yeah, you wanna take the first one?
Yeah, I shall. The first one. So there's this idea that there are these things called doppelgangers, that they really exist. And they live in secluded areas. That's why you don't usually see them.
What is a doppelganger?
Sure. Sorry, a copy of a person.
Yeah.
So a duplicate of a person.
I think it's a really what's the word? Like, it's a conspiracy theory that sticks.
Yeah. It's a fear people have. Like, we know it's not possible for teleporters to make duplicates of people, to make doppelgangers, but that's been a fear since teleportation was invented.
Yeah.
And so some people still insist that it's a real thing.
And even though there's been no proof, there's all this circumstantial evidence, because this happened, and I think I saw you somewhere and you weren't there. Yeah,
and whenever it's looked into, it turns out the person just had a twin or a triplet. Basically it was a sibling.
Or just teleported somewhere. It's like, I saw you in Australia and I also saw you in Alaska a few minutes later. Yeah, because I teleported.
Exactly.
But I think that's one of the I'm not sure if popular is the right word, but it's
most common.
Yeah.
It's a really common conspiracy theory that they exist. And sure, the part of the conspiracy theory is that there's a cover-up, trying to hide that they exist.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
I can imagine if they actually exist, I can imagine that they're trying to covering that up. But I think it's like the thing with the conspiracy theory, if it's actually real, it stops being a conspiracy theory.
Right, then it's just a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Assuming there's some cover-up, when there's not even any cover-up, it's just
fact.
The world, or the fact. Yeah, fact.
So I think if you order all the conspiracy theories by how big is the chance that this is actually true, like no matter, like even though this is pretty unrealistic, the thing with the doppelganger, it's actually, let's say, within the conspiracy theories, maybe one of the more realistic ones.
One of the more mild ones, at least, yeah. There's not so many layers of government involved or, horrible things.
So what do you think?
We're going to rate these, yeah?
I don't know.
Likelihood of being true?
Or do you, or maybe a different question, would you like it to be true?
I see. Not the part where they have to live underground and it's all covered up. That doesn't sound so nice. There being duplicates of people sounds like it could be interesting, but also like it could cause a lot of problems. So okay, no, I wouldn't want it to be true.
I can imagine. Yeah, so I would love to have a doppelganger to have to do my homework when I was at school.
But I guess your doppelganger wouldn't have wanted to do the homework.
Probably not
while you were at school. So.
Okay, shall I take the next one?
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's a little similar, but that was the one that I was at the top of my list. It's about the chorus first that we spoke about in a recent episode. And there's the rumor that there's actually people in the chorus first that don't actually exist in the real world, that have never actually
Right. And ones which present themselves as if they do is the point. Because sure, there are always non-player characters in the chorus verse.
Yeah.
But it's usually clear who those are, yeah? And this conspiracy is about people who, as far as you're concerned, are real people, but they're really not.
And the thing is, you can't really notice. Like in the chorus verse, you don't notice. Like,
of course.
Everybody is a character. And then the point where you could notice is when you say, hey, let's leave together.
Exactly, let's go get a drink. And then you get a message from them later saying, oh yeah, there was a glitch. I somehow didn't teleport to where you were. Sorry about that. See you next time.
I couldn't make it, have an urgent appointment somewhere else or whatever. So, but I mean, that does also happen.
Of course, yeah, that happens sometimes.
So I understand how this theory came about. And it's also a fun theory to play with when you're in the chorus first. Like, if you actually are convinced there are people in here that just exist here, to kind of like find those. Yeah. You've ever had this where you thought, I'm not sure if this is a real person, although they pretend to be?
Occasionally, but then I catch myself because I think like, yeah, okay, but it depends what we're talking about. And I catch myself sometimes when I'm talking, I think, man, I'm going on and on about this subject in a really boring manner. Maybe the people think I'm just like some kind of bot, you know? So,
I've tried it to make the other person believe that I'm
intentionally.
Exactly. Yeah. So whenever they say, "Hey, let's leave and go get a drink," then come up with really vague excuses.
Right. And has anyone ever confronted you?
No.
I mean, that wouldn't be polite. Yeah. I also haven't confronted someone else or been confronted myself in that way.
Or also, maybe it's not such a widespread conspiracy theory that people just think, whatever, and not.
Yeah, it's definitely a simpler way to live, to take people at their word. Next thing?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to power through these. So cheap Congos, part of the fuel they use to make the food is animals that have died of old age. That's grisly stuff, yeah. Like we actually know it's just these pellets that come from tubes directly to your house.
But this one I hadn't actually heard.
It's grisly, especially for because it's illegal to eat.
Yeah.
To eat meat, to eat dead animals. So if it was actually if dead animals were being used as fuel for Congos, well, that would make the whole setup illegal.
I mean, the thing is, when you mentioned this, the first thing, my first reaction was like, what? Because first of all, I didn't know it, and I think it's horrible. But then I'm thinking, what are we doing with dead animals? Because animals do die of old age.
Right, they've died of old age. It's not like they were killed for the purpose of...
Or maybe that's like the conspiracy theory inside the conspiracy theory.
Right, that's the excuse, and really they were killed to be eaten.
They didn't actually die of old age. But what do we do with dead animals anyway?
I think they're buried, no? Buried or cremated, according to their wishes.
Yeah,
but,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I hope it's not true.
Likewise.
I would guess we taste this, no?
I mean, these are the cheap Congos that this is a conspiracy theory about. So I'm not sure how it would work. Is the idea that because they're using real dead animals, that somehow adds to the taste of the food? Or is it the opposite, that because they're so cheap, no real flavor gets through? It's a bit fuzzy.
Or maybe this theory is invented by Gabriel Selassie or some other fancy Congo maker to make people buy the expensive ones because the cheap ones...
Right, to avoid
Did you hear?
Like a smear campaign against them.
Exactly. Did you hear the cheap ones, they have dead animals inside? Maybe it's just really good marketing.
Could be.
Maybe we're helping them right now by talking about this.
Oh no. No.
I actually have one that kind of fits in with this one. It's also about meat.
Yeah.
And it's the rumor that in remote areas in Australia, people still eat meat.
Yeah. That's that seems not I guess a smear campaign, but specifically against Australians. Yeah, to make it seem like they're so backward that they eat meat.
Yeah. I mean, could be also. This is also one of those things where maybe this kind of fits with some sort of stereotype. So there's probably some truth in it. But on the other hand, this is also a thing where there's never been any evidence,
right.
And the Australians are so well advanced in pretty much anything, there's like this doesn't make any sense. And also we would notice, it's like...
Yeah, they'd be all greasy and whatnot.
And animals disappearing on...
That too.
People dying very young because they eat meat, stuff like this.
Yeah, none of those are the case. Australia's full of animals. People live long lives.
Yeah, I mean, they
the evidence doesn't support the theory.
Yeah, exactly. And also you would think that there would be an animal uprising or whatever when this happens. I think this is one of the more unrealistic ones.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go on to another one. So it's it's that the aliens didn't land in Belgium because they thought it was the world headquarters, like everyone knows, but instead they landed there just because they thought the country smelled nice.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's spoken about as if those are mutually exclusive, but of course, a place that is the world's headquarters should smell nice. So,
I still remember our interview with Willow, where we asked him about a favorite Earth food, and he said French flies.
Right. Yeah.
The
flies.
Yeah. So it's French flies. It's very close to Belgium. Maybe that.
So you're saying the smell could be part of it?
Yeah. Maybe it smelled like French flies in Belgium. But you actually have a point. Like, could actually, because I've heard this rumor as well, and they deny it.
Sure, yeah. That's, I guess, where the conspiracy part comes in, because if they just said, yep, that's totally true, well, then that would be it.
Yeah.
But they deny that that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, and also smell works very differently also for them. So I think maybe this rumor or this conspiracy theory comes from the fact that maybe this whole alien thing was a little less exciting than everybody hoped. Because I think for centuries people have expected, at one point the aliens come, not really believing it.
Yeah. It was always something to look forward to, and people could sink their hopes and dreams into that.
Speculate, imagine, and there were these craziest imaginations. And then they came, and like the whole world was like, whoa, and then maybe after a few weeks or months, kind of the novelty wore off, and then, okay, now we have aliens. It's like, what's next? And maybe that's why that inspired these kind of creative theories.
Yeah.
Was actually, is it my turn or your turn?
Yeah. I mentioned the Belgian stuff.
I had one. Which was new to me, about the robot emancipation. I think we mentioned it a lot of episodes ago when we first spoke about robots. There was this act that declared, these are sentient beings, and then they stopped being, I don't know,
tools.
Yeah, tools or slaves, or machines or slaves or whatever, and then the world population grew by a whole lot of entities, sort to say. And then with this robot emancipation, this was preceded by, of course, robots already considering themselves independent before it was officially acknowledged.
Right. But what's part of the important aspect of the history is that the transition was peaceful.
Yeah.
That there wasn't violence or wars.
Exactly.
Or anything like
protests and petitions and
right. Exactly. Those happened peacefully, and
speeches and all kinds of lobby work and so on. But the this conspiracy theory was like it wasn't actually completely peaceful.
Right.
And there was an actually uprising in South Africa. That's what I read, but it was the first time I read about it. And this was wiped from all records after a peace was brokered, after this whole act was...
They didn't want people to know that had happened.
They thought it would not be good for living together going forward if we have this in our history that it was actually a violent thing that came to be, especially since violence is kind of not really there anymore. And then it's like it's a bad start of coexisting when this starts with violence. And then but that's also, they say that's why Table Mountain misses a piece. And it's the famous earthquake. But
that's the reason given.
Exactly, but the conspiracy theory, it wasn't actually an earthquake. This was the uprising, the robot uprising. Yeah, but it was wiped from all records, so I can find a record of the conspiracy theory, but no record of that uprising. I find records of the earthquake.
Of course,
there was an earthquake, some pictures.
Okay. But I mean, as we've said, all the records were destroyed. So there are none to find. It's more, if you look closely, that you see gaps in certain reports, and you can infer things from that. And
also, this was from a period where the cam network wasn't completely covering everything, and exactly at this time, this place, the cams weren't actually filming it, so there's no record of the actual earthquake being filmed, so just pictures before and after. So that, I guess, that kind of puts fuel on the fire of this conspiracy theory. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I hope this one isn't true.
Likewise, that would be a grim history.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one though. So the mystery of why Mauritius is now in the Antarctic was solved. It's not actually a mystery, but the answer was never made public.
Yeah.
So it's there in the Antarctic. Officially, no one knows why. The rumor is that it was done by a jealous island.
Another island that was jealous of the island of Mauritius.
Exactly. Picked it up, I guess, and I mean, the details aren't part of the conspiracy theory, but picked it up, took it to the Antarctic, dropped it off.
Yeah. But also, I mean, like this way of going about it, because this made the news, right? Suddenly Mauritius is in the Antarctic. And then saying, "Oh, we figured it out," and then not actually telling us.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's, then you set yourself up for conspiracy theory.
Of course. Yeah.
So, and I like this. It's done by a jealous island, but there are dozens of other,
of course,
theories of why that happened.
I mean, that if you say it doesn't narrow it down as to which island was the jealous one.
True. Maybe Australia.
Maybe it's a pretty big one, but maybe.
I'm not sure. Is Australia an island?
It's surrounded by water, but I don't think it counts as an island.
No. Continent.
Probably.
Okay. I can imagine Australia being jealous of Mauritius.
Doesn't seem likely.
Maybe because in Mauritius it's still legal to eat meat. That's why.
Okay. I thought you were saying you didn't find it, but you think that could have been the reason.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've never been to Mauritius. Not after they moved, anyway.
Likewise, no. I think I knew someone who came from there, but that was a long time ago now.
Yeah, and it's also cold now. Why go somewhere cold?
Exactly.
I have one. I have to put this in there. We were talking about the cam network before, so it fits nicely. It's that the big corporations are spying on us through the cams.
Right.
I mean, I think
through specifically the ones that fly around, yeah?
Yeah.
They're not the stationary ones.
I think...
Which seems... I mean, as far as conspiracy theories go, that seems a bit too precise. Like, what does it matter whether they're flying ones or steady ones? But
and also, like, everything is recorded all the time, everywhere.
Right.
And
available for everyone to review.
And then, like, they're spying on us. Fine. And then, there's... First of all, I have nothing to hide. Second of all, what are they going to do? Are they going to watch me, sort my Lego figures or, clean my bathroom? Or I have no idea. Why would they on earth spy on us?
It seems very unlikely.
But this is like if you hit the conspiracy theory generator, that's what's coming out.
Yeah. So next one.
Yeah. Shall we each do one? Like the best remaining one from our list? You do one, I do one?
Sure, yeah, can do. I mean, it's best, it's last in the list. Well, toward the end of the list. So on top of Ontario, we mentioned flying cities a while ago. Conspiracy theory is that that's not actually a flying city at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really, really big. And it's so big, people don't realize that, in the distance, in the clouds, actually it's touching the ground.
This one I didn't know either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you go there, you see it. It looks like it's flying. Yeah.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I've been to the edge.
Yeah.
See, I don't know for sure, but
so the conspiracy theory is it was or maybe at some point it was a flying city, but the point is that now at least it's touching the ground. So either it was flying and it fell down, or it never actually flew in the first place. Maybe they built it and it just never took off. But it's so big, and you can't see the parts. Like from one part of it looks like it's floating.
It's a very big one, that's for sure. I'm also thinking I've been there, but I'm not 100% sure if I've been to the edge. It also sounds like this is a conspiracy theory that is rather easy to check.
You'd think, yeah. The thing is, a lot of the people who believe, not just in this, but in many of these conspiracy theories, they don't live near or go to visit the places where the theories pertain, yeah? So in this case, most of the people who believe in it don't live on top of Ontario or near there or go to check it out.
Also, I think the whole thing about a conspiracy theory is that it's a conspiracy theory. If you go there to either debunk it or confirm it, either way, it stops being a conspiracy theory, kind of takes away the fun. It's like saying, hey, what's the capital of Tajikistan again? And then you ask your PA and your PA tells you. It's kind of boring.
Right,
it's much more fun to
speculate.
speculate. I think that's the
reverse
case.
Engineer it from the name of the country or the region or whatever.
That's why the conspiracy theories are just, pretty far-fetched, because if they're not so far-fetched, you can easily check them out.
Yeah.
I have one from my list. Mm-hmm. It's about the cyborg chips.
Yeah.
So for the listeners that missed that episode, they are chips that we have in our body, and they
regulate our bodies basically. So any medical issues that come up.
And then you can download all kinds of enhancements, and you can change your looks, and you can install updates so you're better protected to new viruses and stuff like that. So we never get sick, and we can change our appearance. All pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And a conspiracy theory, check this out, is that without any subscription, you're still protected.
So if you don't pay for them, like if you stop paying for them,
you'll still be covered. You can't change your look or whatever, but you're still completely healthy, and you still get the updates that keep you healthy. And I think it's the big medical companies, they scare us into installing their apps and subscribing to their programs.
Mm-hmm. Sure. When some jobs require it, even like as part of your health insurance, that you need to have certain subscriptions.
True, but apparently this is not necessary. Apparently they just scare us. It's just a big kind of like semi-marketing thing where like, are you sure you want to give up all your health protection, stuff like this?
Yeah.
That's the conspiracy theory anyway. So, and the first thing I thought was like, oh wow, I'm going to totally, and then I thought, no.
To try it out, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like cancel all my subscriptions and then, wait a couple of years to see if I get sick, and then why?
Some medical issues take decades to manifest, so it would be a long-term play.
Exactly, and then I thought, why take the risk, But that's the theory. And this could also be one of the more realistic ones, because if you put, the health of your population behind a paywall, that also feels kind of wrong.
Sure, well, it feels wrong and causes you, as a society, causes other issues.
Yeah.
Much worse.
So, you want to try it out?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, what?
Why not?
What?
I've been around a while.
But you have your... sure.
Yeah. Cool, let me just go in there now, one sec. Yeah,
what?
I cancelled all my... some of them go, till the end of the month, so a couple more till the end of the year, but from January the 1st, 22-23, no more cyborg chip subscriptions.
Wow, you just did that right here on the spot.
Yeah, it's nice and easy to do, you just go into settings, subscriptions.
Live on the show.
Like I say, so a couple of them are actually now immediately off, but yeah, like it was from 1st of January.
Okay. So to our listeners, like if you hear Simon coughing or sneezing from January.
Before then, I've still got the full, or some of the subscriptions anyway, so it shouldn't be, if that's happening, then there's a real problem going on. Anything after January, the 1st of January, okay, there's, that's to be expected, apparently. But okay, that's the test. Because if it's a conspiracy theory and actually I'll be fine, then
you chronic your journey. And
chronically, yeah.
Chronicle, exactly, and then reveal to the world. Well, maybe we start a parallel podcast for the people in our time.
I see, yeah.
just checking up. How are you feeling this week? Fine.
I mean, sure,
That's
we
it.
send this back 200 years, no one will bother with the cyborg chips because they'll know they're not necessary, or at least with the fancy subscriptions.
This podcast could be, how is Simon doing today? And this could be the single question. You could say fine, and then that's it.
Just one word. Or I can do a sentence, but not so long.
Okay, cool. A spin-off.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought to wrap things up, I thought we could come up with a conspiracy theory ourselves.
Like make one up ourselves.
Exactly. So to send one off in the world, because
see how it comes back.
We've consumed all of these, we've enjoyed them, we've profited from them. Now let's give something back.
Yeah. What shall it be about?
Some recent thing, some recent invention or event.
Yeah, and something that isn't something that everyone can observe. Like it can't be something that people can just walk up to the place and check it out, because then it's easy to debunk. It needs to be something far away. Something far away.
Maybe in space.
Yep, that's pretty far away. The furthest away. Like meaning, not something on the moon where it's easy to get to. We were talking about it a few weeks ago, I think, Steamboat Willie.
I think where you're getting at, something considering Steamboat Willie. How about...
Because who can even observe it, yeah?
How about it doesn't exist? Like, it didn't actually...
It exists, people have seen it on the...
True.
Yeah.
Well, how about,
but it's pretend. Like it's an act, it's fake.
Exactly. It didn't actually take off.
Right.
It didn't actually leave the solar system.
That's the point. Maybe it even took off and is a spaceship. Right, it never actually left the solar system.
That's it.
And, they just faked it. So they set up some stuff that looked like the edge of the solar system. They filmed it and so on. But we know it's fake because if you look at the way the shadows fall across the hull, that doesn't match where it's supposed to be in relation to the sun.
And the weren't any stars in the stream that we saw a few days ago when they left. There were no stars in the stream.
Which could have been excused if it was a really low quality stream, but actually it was suspiciously high. Yeah. Such good quality. They should have. So first of all, how was it so high quality? But then being so high quality, where were all the stars? Exactly.
You're in space, you gotta have stars. It's like... There could also be an argument against the theory because, if they faked it, they would have probably put stars in there. But
no. Don't let anyone think of that. Just say, hey, where were all the stars? That's the end of it.
Totally, no stars. The shades are wrong. And how can you get such a good stream in there? Sometimes you have a live stream of game night and fizzles, and then that's even worse.
Yeah.
So okay, I like that. Yeah. Okay, so for all our listeners. The rumor has
the truth, is it? Not even the rumor.
The truth, yeah.
Yeah. We told you about Steamboat Willie a few weeks ago, and that was misinformation, and now we're telling you the truth.
Yeah, exactly. It was all fake. Yeah, but they don't fool us.
No. And now you, 200 years ago, also know the truth.
Exactly. You and us, we know. Okay.
How are we doing for time?
Exactly. We really need to leave in like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
We didn't actually, I didn't also see any interesting listener questions, just people telling us the episode number.
Sure, which is always good, but by no questions for us to answer.
Yeah.
I'll tell folks, so we're wrapping it up. People in the past, please do email us, even if you don't have questions. Send an email to michaellasagna5@gmail.com and put the number 84 in the subject so that we can know this test went back successfully.
Totally. So, then, we're off. Thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.